students, how are you doing? Hope you all are safe and fine, right? Well, what did we learn in a previous video? Yes, I'll tell you. Well, when Heidi saw the beautiful mountains and the flowers, she started running here and there. She couldn't control herself. Then she started running in a different direction. She went far ahead of Peter. And then what did she do? And then Peter had a hard time searching for her. He went looking out for her and then he said, Heidi, come on, follow me, he said. And then slowly, then Heidi came up. And then they reached the destination. Which is the destination? The pasture. They reached the pasture. And then Peter lay on the sunny grass. And then Heidi asked Peter, please tell me the names of all the goats. Okay. And then Peter could tell the names of the goats one by one. Then he said, see, the one with the big horns is a big Turk. And the thistlefinch is very bold and is not afraid of me. And you can see the little white goat. Little white goat's name is Snowhopper. And it always kept bleating in a saddest way. Okay. And then as Peter was telling the names of the goats, suddenly he noticed thistlefinch running far ahead. Okay, it was running towards the edge of the mountain. And then what Peter did? He left everything and he started running behind thistlefinch because thistlefinch was going to fall from the edge of the mountain. And so he ran behind thistlefinch to save thistlefinch. And then what happened? He stumbled over a stone. He tripped and he fell down. Almost he fell down. But still he didn't bother. He tried to hold the leg of thistlefinch to save thistlefinch. Okay. And what happened to thistlefinch? Thistlefinch was bleating loudly. And then now we are going to know who is going to save thistlefinch. Now we are going to read the lesson. Okay, children? Are you ready to listen? Very good. Come on, let's go. Yes, children. Now, we are going to read the lesson. Before reading the lesson, out with the goats, teacher has put up some words on the board. Okay? And first we'll read those words and then you have to underline these words in your textbook. When we are reading the lesson, when you come across these words, you have to underline with your pencil. So let's read the words first. Awakened. Say, awakened. Loud, goatherd, pasture, merrily, gentians, sparkled, nodding, treasures, stirring, destination, bleating, stumbled, bounded, fragrant. Okay? So you have to underline these words in your textbook. Children, now let's read the lesson. I want you to hold the pencil in your hand and when you come across the hard words, underline them in your textbook, right? So let's begin. Look into your books. Out with the goats. Heidi was awakened early in the morning by a loud whistle. Jumping out of bed, she put on her things and ran outside. Peter, the goatherd, was already there with his flock, waiting for Schwanli and Bailey. Heidi's grandfather was bringing them to join the other goats. Do you want to go with him to the pasture? Grandfather asked. Yes, cried Heidi, clapping her hands. They started merrily up the Alp. Heidi was wild with joy and ran from side to side. In one place, she saw big patches of fine red primroses. On another spot, blue gentians sparkled in the grass. Everywhere the golden rock roses were nodding at her. Children, now turn to page 2. In a wild joy at finding such treasures, Heidi even forgot Peter and his goats. She ran far ahead of him and then strayed away off to one side. had a hard time looking out for her. "Follow me now," he called out. "Where are the goats?" Heidi asked without even stirring. "Way up there, and we have still far to go," he said. After they had reached their destination, the boy lay down on the sunny grass. Heidi was watching the goats and asked Peter for their names. Peter could tell them all to her. The one with the big horns was the Big Turk. The bold thistle finch alone was not afraid of him. Snowhopper was a small white goat and kept bleating in the saddest way. All of a sudden, Peter jumped up and bounded after Thistlefinch, who had gone too far. Peter stumbled over a stone while trying to stop Thistlefinch from falling over the edge of the mountain. He was only able to catch the goat by one leg. Thistlefinch bleated loudly. Heidi saw that Peter could not get up and was calling for help. She quickly picked up some fragrant herbs and held them under the animal's nose. So who came to rescue Thistlefinch from falling down the mountain, children? Heidi. What did she do? She picked up some fragrant herbs, and she held them under the animal's nose. Now let's see what happened. The goat turned about and started eating the herbs from Heidi's hand. When Peter got to his feet, he led Thistlefinch back to the herd. Thus the day passed, and the sun was already sinking down behind the mountains. The peaks started to glow, and Heidi suddenly called to Peter, "Look, everything is on fire. The mountains are burning and the sky too. Oh, how beautiful the snow looks." Children, now turn to page 3. When they returned to the hut, Grandfather was waiting for them. Heidi told him about the wonderful fire. "The sun does it," he exclaimed. "He throws his most beautiful rays to them. He wants that they should not forget him till the morning. This is his way of saying good night to the mountains." So children, what do you understand by this line? He throws his most beautiful rays to them. What do you mean by that line? It means that the sun threw his most beautiful rays to the mountains and the peaks, and he wanted the mountains to remember him till the morning. Okay? Children, now I will be playing you a small video of how Heidi and Peter saved Thistlefinch from falling down the mountain. So look at the video and try to understand it. Heidi saw that Peter could not get up and was calling for help. She quickly picked up some fragrant herbs and held them under the animal's nose. The goat turned about and started eating the herbs from Heidi's hand. When Peter got to his feet, he led Thistlefinch back to the herd. Thus the day passed, and the sun was already sinking down behind the mountains. The peaks started to glow, and Heidi suddenly called out to Peter, "Look, everything is on fire. The mountains are burning and the sky too. Oh, how beautiful the snow looks." When they returned to the hut, Grandfather was waiting for them. Heidi told him about the wonderful fire. "The sun does it," he exclaimed. He throws his most beautiful rays to them. He wants that they should not forget him till the morning. This is the way of saying good night to the mountains. Now children, have you understood the lesson? I want to ask you a few questions just to know whether you have understood or not. Okay, the first question. Where were Peter and Heidi going to? Think and tell me. Yes, Peter and Heidi were going to the pasture. Very good. The second question. Why was Peter unable to get up? Think and tell me. Yes, Peter was unable to get up because he stumbled over a stone. He stumbled over a stone and he could not get up. Very good. Now the third question. What did Heidi do to save Thistle Finch? What did she do? Think and tell me. Yes, Heidi picked up some fragrant herbs and held them under the animal's nose. What do you mean by fragrant herbs, children? Fragrant means sweet smelling. Herbs means small plants. Okay, so she picked up some fragrant herbs and she held them under the animal's nose. Okay, and what did the goat do? It turned about and started eating the herbs from Heidi's hand. Very good. Now the next question. Look, everything is on fire. Look at this line. Look, everything is on fire. Now tell me, who said these words and to whom? Who said these words to whom? Tell me. Think and tell me. Yes. Heidi said these words to Peter. Very good. Now children, for your homework, I want you to read the lesson out with the goats. Okay? I want you to read this lesson and then read all the hard words from this lesson. And also you have to learn all the word meanings and the opposites given in your notebook. Until then, take care. God bless you.